Alrighty, good morning again. Thank you for coming back. I see some of you have changed seats. That's good. Maybe as your enthusiasm has built, you're moving further forward. Some in the front who were too slow, now at the back. But that's all right. I'm glad to have you all here this morning with us, and thanks for tuning in again for what I think is going to become one of our most important development seminars here at Dew Point. We're going to be looking this morning at a message that is now starting to become demanded to be heard. We at Dew Point really believe quite strongly, and we're seeing it happening in South Africa already, that this tool that we have created is our future in South Africa. Now, it's how we get the message to South Africans. Why? Because South Africans are so badly burnt from the past. How many thousands of these things have blown into South Africa and blown out and ruined the reputation for everyone? Even the legitimate network marketing companies that have been around have ruined it for South Africans. I can't tell you how many wealth engineers I've spoken to have said, well, when I did this, and they name a very legitimate network marketing company, I lost 84,000 Rand. You know, I lost 50,000 Rand. I lost 200,000 Rand. I'm like, how? No, well, you had to buy the products and then you had to sell them, and I couldn't sell them, and I got a garage full of them. At home. One of the wealth engineers actually still has a garage full of product from a previous legitimate network, and they can't move. And so he lost money, he didn't make any money. We bring something that creates, it doesn't destroy. And it is a message that is now demanding to be heard. And we've got to learn how we're going to give that message to South Africans so we can break through the stigma. That we can break through it. People are full of stigma in South Africa, and we've got to break through it so that they can see what Dew Point is all about. And so this morning, I have 2 or 3 objectives I'd like to achieve with you. First of all, obviously, I want to help teach you, or at least start to teach you, how to talk to people about Dew Point. Prospect, inviting, and connecting. That's the basic objective of this morning. But the second objective is I want to teach you how to tell the story. You see, people are only going to listen to you if you know how to tell the story. And so I need to. Now, the story is not a fictional story. We're not making up stuff here. It's how we tell the truth. It's how we tell the facts. And it's how we wake South Africans up. Because South Africans are not awake. They have not realized the crisis we're in. They really haven't. I've mentioned it before. I have this lovely lady, when I get my hair cut, she's always there helping out, and I've known her since I was 15, actually. And I was chatting to her just before the elections, and a week before, and she said, Brendan, I can't wait for the 8th of May. And I said, why? Because she says, everything will be different afterwards. And I felt genuinely sad for her, because she would like life to be different. She would. Life is not pleasant in South Africa for the vast majority of us. It's just not pleasant. There isn't a nice way to say it. A lot of what I'm going to say this morning is not nice. It's not going to make you feel good. But what it's designed to do is to wake you up. So I'm going to treat you this morning to start with like prospects. I'm going to talk to you like you've never heard about Dew Point before. And then once I've done that, then we'll get into the techniques. But I want you to hear the story of South Africa first, so that you understand the story we need to bring to people, so that they understand why they now need Dew Point and why there's no time left for excuses, stigma, circumstances. All of it needs to go out the window. It's now time that this message is heard. So, why have I brought you here this morning as my new prospects? Why have you found yourself in the position that you're in this morning? That's the big question we have to ask ourselves. How did you end up here? You see, everybody will say to you, no, I've got a good job, or this is something I don't want to do, and I'll go, my response to them always is, but look at the financial position you're in. Look at the position. How did you end up in a seat at Dew Point? How did you end up watching this video? Well, you're in that circumstance and you're here now without a solution. You don't have a solution, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody, in all the years I've been doing this presentation, has someone been able to come to me and say, no, Brendan, I've got another solution. Here it is here. No one. No one has been able to do that. I've had lots of people give up. But that's very different from them being able to come and say, I'm doing this other thing that's changing my life. There is no economic solution, and even you arrived here on your first day with me and did not have an alternative solution to your economic circumstances. You were at the time completely unaware of dew point, and that was my task, to make you aware of dew point. I've had people say to me, not often, but on occasion, I've had people say to me, Brendan, I never even heard of you before. You tell me you're 70 years old, I've never heard of you. And I go, no, you won't have heard of me, because we don't run adverts. We don't run adverts. We use you guys, remember? That's what this morning is about. So, you have found yourself in the seat. You do not have an alternative solution to your circumstances, even if this is the first time you're thinking about it. And you don't know what dew point is about. That is every South African, ladies and gentlemen. That is every South African. Okay. So why do so many of us find ourselves in this position? That's where I'm starting my story. And it's where you should be starting your story. Why is it you found yourself in this position? What did you do wrong in your life that has put you in the position you're in right now, where you are out of control, where you have lost control of your economic circumstances? Well, oddly enough, ladies and gentlemen, it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you're in the position you're in. Isn't that nice to hear? Everywhere we go, we're told it's our fault that we're in. If you just worked harder, if you just got educated, if you had better parents, it's always your fault. Well, it's not your fault. It is, in fact, a global trend. And this global trend of economic impoverishment started about 100 years ago. I'm going to tell you things you don't want to hear today. I am. And I'm going to tell you, there might be people in here who think they know, and they're going to come and argue with me afterwards. Folks, you need to understand. The Benfields specialize in this. So you will find it disappointing debating with me. Folks, 100 years ago, we started on a very new trend, globally, not just in South Africa, across all of Western civilization, Australia, America, Europe, South Africa. We started on a new trend about 100 years ago. That trend has led us to where we are now, and it consists of two things, policy and taxation. They are the two things that have put you in the position you're in now. So let's look through that. Folks, looking in the South African context only. Now, remember, what I want to do is I want to create the story for you for South Africa. But everything I tell you is actually happening everywhere in the world today. So don't think this is just me berating South Africa. No, it's happening everywhere. Okay? But in the South African reality, what has been our policy? What has been the governmental policy of South Africa for the last 100 years? Do you know that South Africa became South Africa in 1910? Most South Africans think we're 400 years old as a country. No, we're not. We only became a country in 1910. We are 109 years old as a country. Did you know that? I know that most of you didn't, which is really sad. Okay? It demonstrates how poor our education system is across the spectrum. South Africa became South Africa in 1910. Before then, we were a whole lot of different things. We had the country of the Vaal, okay? And we had the country of the Cape. And the two came together to form a new country under Jan Smuts called South Africa. Okay, we've only been a country for 109 years. However, look at what we have done. Since 1910, we have passed 6,640 acts of legislation. You know what an act is? An act is when they say, like the Traffic Act. They pass that act and it says you can't speed, you need a driver's license, you need all of those sorts of things. 6,640 of them. What it means, ladies and gentlemen, is that we're all criminals. That's what it means. I assure you, you are breaking laws every day and you don't even know it. You don't even know it. I want you to know how absurd the idea is that as a country we need 6,640 laws. I want you to know how absurd it is. Do you know what it does? Well, it starts crushing economies. Let's look at it a bit more. It means on average, since we became a country, we have passed 60 pieces of legislation in this country every year. 60. That's 5 a month. Entire acts of legislation. Entire acts. Okay? Now you're going, but this doesn't, I don't care, I don't. Folks, every time a piece of legislation is passed, it is affecting you. It changes your rights. It tells you what you can and can't do to stay out of jail. Do not believe for a minute that you are not affected by these. It is affecting every part of your life. It is that global trend where legislation has started crushing individuals in their countries around the world. Since the 1990s, we've been passing 41 new pieces of legislation a year on average. That's 1,021 in the last 20 years. In the last 20 years, as we've been called ourselves the New South Africa, we've passed another 1,021 pieces of law. Do you even know what any of these are? What are we not allowed to do? I don't know. There's 6,600 laws telling me what I'm not allowed to do. And I don't know what they are. I don't know. But they have a very profound impact on our country. Before the end of this year, 76 more pieces of legislation will be passed. This is a screenshot from the government website where they have currently got 76 bills tabled for passing this year. 76. This is on top of the 6,640. What did they find was missing in the 6,640 that they had to create 76 more pieces of legislation? Well, don't worry, they're all tabled and they'll be passed by the end of this year. So, folks, what that means is the more pieces of legislation are passed, the more people we need in government. Do we not? Okay. So, I've asked the question this morning, but people have asked it before. You can go and look up everything, folks, that I tell you this morning. You can find on Google, Wikipedia, and the Free Market Foundation. Go there, all legit data. Nothing I've made up. It's all facts this morning. Okay. So, many articles are written about why do governments around the world desire to pass legislation at such an incredible rate, when all these pieces of legislation are meaningless to us, the citizens. Okay, well, here's the two answers. You might like them, you might not. One is because the more legislation that's passed, the more government positions there are. Okay, so remember the mandates of every government around the world is to increase employment. How do they increase employment? Well, they are failing across the world to create economies where new businesses can be created. This is not just unique to South Africa. Across the world, they can't stimulate new business. So the only way they can create employment is by putting people into government jobs. How do you put people into government jobs? You pass more legislation. Now, you know what the problem with government jobs are? They don't create anything. There's no revenue. And this is something you may not know. A government job does not create money for the economy. A government job is a vacuum cleaner. It plugs onto the economy and it starts sucking the income out of the economy. Now, the bigger the vacuum cleaner, the faster the shrinkage of your economy. What are we in at the moment? We're in recession. What does recession mean? Shrinkage. Our economy is getting smaller and smaller. There's only two reasons why our economy is shrinking: legislation, policy, and taxation. There's the only two reasons why our economy is shrinking. Okay? You need to just understand this, all right? Fine, perfect. What does the policy mean? We've passed 6,640 laws, plus 76 more by the end of this year. It means, and you can go to Wikipedia and look this up, we are the largest government in the world per capita in South Africa. That means there are more parliamentarians per person in South Africa than any other country in the world. Do you want to understand why our economy is in tatters? Because there are more politicians in South Africa than there are people. The total cost of our government is 1.3 million employees. I checked. The government is still the largest employer in the country. They employ more people than the mines do. They're the number one employer in the country. 1.3 million government employees. Remember, every single one of them does not create income for our economy. They are just a cost to our economy. The annual salary bill per the budget that came out a few months ago is now 640 billion rand a year. I want you to understand how much a billion is. We hear this term, billion, 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 billion. We've even got a guy on Facebook called My Billions. We hear the term all the time. Do we understand how big a billion is? There's some wonderful analogies on the internet. Go and Google, how big is a billion? And they will demonstrate to you that it's a geologically big number. And it's not 1 billion. It's 640 billion a year is the salary bill alone. That's not the cost of education, hospitalization, infrastructure. No, not all of that aside. This is just paying the salaries of the parliamentarians, okay, and the people that work in government, okay? So I want you to understand that. That is 35%. It is more than 1/3 of the total amount of income our country makes. That size of the vacuum cleaner for the payroll. sucks up 35% of the budget every year. It is absolutely frightening. This is not just South Africa, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not berating South Africa. This is a global trend. You go to the US, they are killing their economy. You go to Australia, it's even worse. Crushing their economy under legislation. Crushing it. Okay. Lowest paid regular income earner of a member of parliament. So this is if you make it into parliament. Okay, so it's not the average person. If you make it into parliament, the lowest salary is R1 million a year. Hands up, how many people earn R1 million a year here? What do we know from SARS? Only 0.5% of people in South Africa earn R1 million. Only 0.5%. That's 35,000. How many of the 35,000 South Africans that earn R1 million are in parliament? The lowest earning MP earns 86,000 Rand a month. What is the average salary of a South African who works in the private sector? So this is employed South Africans. It includes people who earn 300 Rand a month and people who earn 80 million Rand a month. The whole spectrum, what's the average? 20,000 Rand. The lowest paid member of parliament is 4 times that amount. Does the member of parliament create income for us? No. Does the employee create income for us? Yes. They paid 20, member of parliament 80. Do you understand why our economy is in the tatters it is? Well, not yet, no. Let's look now at what happens. Somebody's got to pay for the 640 million plus, okay? 640 billion. So it comes through tax. This is not a new concept. We didn't invent it in South Africa. It's been around for years. The kings and queens used to tax their people. Why was there the French Revolution? Because the king had taxed his people into the ground. And then the king got his head chopped off. The same might happen here. It might. You'll laugh, but it might. Our taxation has increased every single year for as long as I've been alive. Okay? Every year the tax rate goes up. Why? Because we're passing how many? 41 pieces of legislation every year. That creates a whole host of additional government jobs, which means we need more money from our people to pay their salaries. You see, it's not magic this. It's just A, B equals C stuff, you know, and people don't want to hear it. No, we need free this, we need free that. No. All that means is the vacuum cleaner gets bigger. Okay? And it means all of us on the ground get poorer and poorer and poorer. These are the only 2 reasons why our country is in the state it is, and it's why all the countries in the world are in the state they're in, is because of this. Okay? Taxation. This year, Tax Freedom Day will be the 16th of June. Okay, what does Tax Freedom Day means? It means the day you and I as private citizens that are not working for government get to stop working for government. All right, now, that sounds complicated. It's simple. You're going to pay tax this year of around about 46% of your earnings. Okay? And don't think, I'm not an e-filing, I don't pay tax. Wait, you're all paying tax. You're going to pay 46% of your earnings in tax this year. Okay? That means that for 46% of the year you're working for the government. That's what it means. You are working for the government. And 46% of the year is the 16th of June. It's 165 days. For 165 days of every single year, you work for government, not for yourself. All right. Now, that is interesting when we compare it to when we became South Africa. Okay? Or when we became the new South Africa, rather. At that point, we only used to work for government for 26% of the year. But it's not because of the change in government. Remember, in 1910, we were passing acts like crazy. In fact, just before 1994, we were passing 140 pieces of legislation a year. So it's not because of the change in government. We just carried on the same process. We didn't stop it. We just carried on lumping on legislation. When does that become 80% of the year? When are you only going to earn 20% of your income? Well, it's only another 20 years away. If we carry on the same trend as we are now, 20 years from now, you will only earn 20% of your pay. The other 80% will go to the tax man every year. Tax Freedom Day shifts out every year. Every year it's later. Business Day said it was 18th of May. They had a whole lot of additional income in they shouldn't have had in. When we did some recalculations, it's not. For you and me on the ground, it's not the 18th of May. It's the 16th of June. We will work for government for. We're not even there yet, guys. Okay, we're not even there yet. All right, personal income tax and VAT. So folks, those of you who don't think you're paying tax, the highest collected tax in the country is the combination of personal income and VAT. 70% of the tax that's collected is from VAT and personal income. Now, folks, you all buy things at shops, don't you? That means you pay VAT. That means you pay VAT every time you buy something. And that makes up nearly 70% of the tax that's collected. You are paying tax. I had someone say to me the other day, tax, that's what rich white people pay. That's what they said to me. You know, it's fine. You're allowed to be racist in one direction in South Africa, but not the other. And I said to that chap, I said, I've got really bad news for you. I do. And I'm not a prejudicial person. You guys have known me for years. I'm not prejudicial. I said, I've got bad news for you. You are paying tax. Don't believe it's me and my friends, because we don't make up 70% of the population. You guys are paying the tax that buys the Rolls Royces and the Lamborghinis and the kids' Ferraris and that we see at the moment. You're paying it. Do not believe because you're not on e-filing that you're not paying tax. VAT is the second highest collected tax in the country by itself at the moment, and we're all paying it. And then all the other taxes you didn't even know you were paying. Fuel tax, sin tax, sugar tax, donations tax, capital gains tax, estate tax, fringe benefits tax, carbon tax, home rates and levies, e-tolls, airport tax, import tax, export tax, transfer tax, car licenses, TV's licenses. Those are all taxes and you're all paying them. You don't have to be on e-filing to be paying them. Because somebody has to pay the bill. 640 billion rand a year salary bill, somebody's got to pay it. So we pay it as private citizens, and we work for nearly 50% of the year to pay it all off. So, what's the impact in South Africa? Well, we know that we are overregulated. That's without question. The regulators themselves call their legislation labyrinths. I can pull you an exact quote from a regulator saying it's a labyrinth. We're overregulated, which means we're overtaxed. We have to be, because the two equal each other. They're a formula. You can't have one without the other. If we reduce the amount of regulation, tax will go down. But you know what will happen? Government employees will lose their jobs. Do you think it's going to happen? No. It means we have a strangled economy. Do we have a strangled economy? Yes, we have a strangled economy. As I said, I'm not making stuff up this morning. It's just a fact. I'm making a factual lecture for you this morning. We have an economy that's in recession. There are less jobs every year than there were before. It's all as a result of two things. Okay? What's the number one job choice in South Africa and globally? The number one choice globally for employment for citizens? Government job. Why is a government job? First of all, government's going nowhere, so you're not going to get retrenched. Second of all, you barely have to work. You're not producing anything, so you can work just what you want. There's no accountability. And of course, corruption is endemic in government. Every government around the world, corruption is endemic. Some just hide it better than others. It's the best job on earth. You get your paycheck, and then everybody who comes to you for you to do the job you're being paid for, you say, I'm not going to do my job until you pay me too. Am I right? Is that not what happens? How do we get driver's licenses in South Africa? We go to the counter, the guy says, you want a driver's license? That will cost you. But I've already paid through my 46% of the year tax. I've already paid him to do his job. But he goes, no. You need to pay me too. It's the best job. It's the number one choice of job in the world today. Okay. All right. I just want you to see how the world actually looks. Business startup in any major industry is now pretty much impossible. In South Africa today, it's almost impossible for you to start a successful business. How many of you are able to start tomorrow a business? No. It's virtually impossible. There are almost zero new successful businesses being started in South Africa. So if you thought this morning that one of my options is to start my own business, it's not. It's not. With 6,640 pieces of legislation, you'll likely be in jail by the end of the week. I say that truthfully. When you try and start a business, you will be overwhelmed by how much legislation governs your business. Our business here at DewPoint is legislated by 146 pieces of legislation. I have had to come to grips with 146 acts. At the end of last year, 8 new acts were added to the list, and at the beginning of this year, 2 more. So I'm now coming up on 160 pieces of legislation that govern just this business. You are not capable of starting a new business in South Africa. You are not, because we simply cannot keep up anymore. Unemployment has increased again. It is up now to 27.6% after quarter 1 of 2019. There's been no change in that trend. It's down and down and down we go. It has to be. What's pressing the nose of employment down? Two things, legislation and taxation. It keeps pushing it down. The moment we release the legislation, the taxation comes off, up comes employment again. These are standard formulas which are being denied. We have a depreciating rand because it's directly linked to our economy. Depreciating rand from the 1st of January to today, it's 12% weaker than it was. So in 5 months, everything that we import has got 12% more expensive. I tell you, I follow all the cars. I'm a big petrol head. I have watched 2 cars, the new 911 Porsche, because it just came out at the beginning of this year, and the new Cayenne. It came out just before the end of last year. Just watch the prices. The beginning of the year, you could buy a Cayenne for 2.6 million. Then it was 2.65. Then it was 2.7. When I looked yesterday on Friday, it's now 2.812. That's since January, it's gone from 2.6 to 2.812. That is 212,000 Rand increase in 5 months on the same car. 12% decrease in the value and the strength of the rand. It's just formula. These people are robbing us. No, they're not. No, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you who is robbing you, but it is not the retail stores. It's not them. Skills development. Well, we are seeing a net emigration of skills in South Africa because those that of all races, black, white, Indian, colored, whatever, who become doctors, who become engineers, plastic surgeons, philosophers, economists, chartered accountants, they're leaving. Wouldn't you leave? How many jobs are available right now? None. So where are they going to go? They have to go where they got a job. They spent 9 years at university. They're not sticking around unemployed. They're getting a job in New Zealand and in Europe and in England and in America. And so we have a net immigration. So what are we seeing happening in our hospitals? Are they getting better? No, they're getting worse. What do we see happening with all of our logistics and infrastructure in South Africa? Is the power on all the time? No, it's dropping. What's the water? The water's deteriorating. The roads are deteriorating. Why? Because the skills are leaving. All races in South Africa, the skills are leaving. Okay, because they don't want to be stuck in that. What are we seeing? Rapid population growth. This is a mathematical formula as well. Do you want to know how you grow a population? You impoverish them. And you know what the crazy thing, it's a great irony, but it's been around for centuries. It's been around for thousands of years, in fact. So again, it's not unique to South Africa. It's all formula. This is all formula. When you want a population to grow, you take their money away. Because then the population believes if they have lots of children, the children will look after them. Am I right? No, don't laugh. It's serious. I'm serious this morning. They believe that the lots of children will. Then they start making things like if you haven't got a children, there must be something wrong with you. But the truth is actually that the more children you have, the poorer you get. Because those children cannot get jobs. Are there jobs for children to have right now? No. What happens to you? You end up now supporting a bigger and bigger family, do you not? Can you support them? No. What do we find? Children abandoned. Not necessarily abandoned to orphanages, but the dad leaves or the mom leaves. And one parent is now having to look after because the dad goes, I'm not looking after this. I got no money myself. Now you want me to look after these kids? Folks, this is the 21st century. You know you can have sex and not have children. You do know that, eh? And you do know that your status is not linked to how many children you have. Remember my Wealth Creation 201. I said, don't let culture dictate your poverty or your wealth. Right now in South Africa, we have population expansion. We are producing children at the highest rate we have in forever into an economy that will never support them. So why are we doing it? You need to ask yourself that question. Why are you having children? Does it make you richer or does it make you poorer when you have children? What are the activities of people who get wealthy? How many children do wealthy people have? 1 or 2. So why, if we want to become wealthy, are we having 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? These are very important questions. Look at the economy you are in. And yet we are seeing rapid. But it's formulaic. It's not South Africa specific. Make people poor, population rises. Make people rich, population falls. Go look it up. TED Talk. There's a whole thing. He goes through the whole thing. Shows you the full mathematics of it. It's got nothing to do with racism. It's got nothing to do with prejudice. It's got nothing to do with anything. It's all formula. It's all maths. More legislation equals more tax equals depressed economy. Depressed economy means poorer people, means population expansion. This stuff all is just straightforward economics. All right. We're seeing inflation moving towards hyperinflation, whereas people on the ground, with all of this, we're now going from 6% inflation to 8 to 10 to 20 to 25%. Very soon we're going to be sitting at 50, 60, 100% inflation. That means that every year prices doubled in South Africa. You've seen it happen everywhere else. It's formulaic. And what are we seeing? Ultimately, our purchasing power is diminishing. Our purchasing power is getting less and less every single year. Every year we are poorer. Even with your increases, we are poorer. All right, so now, this is where we find ourselves. You know that saying, between a rock and a hard place? You always thought it was the two of them crushing you. No, it's not. It's you hanging on the two, about to fall down the chasm. That's where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody's going to save us. Nobody's going to save us. It doesn't matter what party you voted for. Even if we had a huge change in government, do you think they would say, listen, sorry guys, I need to get rid of half my employees? You think they'd say that? We have only one task. We have only one hope, and that is to outrun government expenditure. How are we going to outrun government expenditure? We all have to become entrepreneurs. Working for a job will not outrun. You will get poorer every year until you are absolutely destitute. If you're an entrepreneur, you're able to get ahead of this curve. It's how the rich people in America are doing it. It's how the rich people in Australia are doing it. It's how the rich people in Europe are doing it. They are entrepreneurs and they get ahead of government expenditure. So when the Porsche costs 2.8, it doesn't matter. They've increased their earnings by 200,000 Rand a month. You know, we have to become those people. And we have to become them in millions in South Africa. If we're going to support this government, millions of us have to become entrepreneurs. And so I've told you this story this morning. And you've felt how it's impacting you. Did you see how many times I spoke about network marketing? Did you see how many times I spoke about financial services products? Did you see how many times I spoke about presentations and all those things that you would normally have? No, I didn't have to talk about it. Right now, you're ready to listen to me about a solution, are you not? Right now, you want to hear how we're going to fix this problem. You don't care about your stigmas. You don't care about your circumstances. All you want is now a solution. All I did was tell you a story this morning. What story do you tell your friends when you tell them about DewPoint? Duke, I've got this new business opportunity. This new business opportunity. I want to puke when people say that to me. I don't talk about business. DewPoint is not a business opportunity. DewPoint is our last salvation in South Africa. You don't get to put DewPoint in the bucket of network marketing. You don't. It is the last salvation. And so, we better get our prospecting, inviting, and connecting working, because DewPoint is the only solution that we have, and we have got to get this message through to South Africans. We have absolutely got to get there. So how do we get this message heard? Well, there's the 3 steps: prospecting, inviting, and connecting. These are 3 separate things. This is finding the person. This is talking to the person, and this is making them a wealth engineer. That's what we got to do. Those things. We got to find them, we got to talk to them, and we got to make them wealth engineers. So let's start. We got to find those people. What do we do? Prospecting is not about talking to one person, or 2, or 5, or 20. It's about talking to hundreds of people. You have to have this in your heads. You can't go, I spoke to 14 people, I give up. You need to say, hang on, I'm going to do this for the next 25 years. I'm going to speak to 1,000 people every 5 years. That's what you need to say to yourself. That's step number 1. You want to find in here the gold? You're going to be talking to a lot of people. Get that into your head. That's where you start, okay? And it has to start with you opening your mouth. Now, I speak particularly to my peers of my pigmentation, okay? Folks, you cannot go, I've been doing DewPoint for 2 years, it's not working. And I go, how many people have you spoken to? No, I haven't started speaking to people yet. There are people in this audience this morning who I haven't seen in 12 months, who I know have not spoken to anyone about DewPoint in the last 12 months. Okay. If you don't open your mouth, you cannot even begin
you
to
must
prospect.
Open shop every single day. The shop is your mouth. Okay? You cannot have a business if your doors are closed. Nobody can get anything from you. What I want to hear is, did you speak to somebody? If you said yes or no, that's irrelevant. I want to know, did you speak to somebody? Keep the names you've spoken to. Follow them up. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Birthday, a joke here and there. Start a conversation. If they ask, how are you? And say, great. I had an excellent week with DewPoint.
If you're not opening your mouth, you are not prospecting. And you know what? Practice makes perfect. You are not going to get around. People believe that there's some kind of silver bullet to this whole thing. Brendan, tell me exactly, give me the exact words I must say to tell people about Dew Point. Folks, I don't know. Every single person will be different, but you know what? You'll create your own rhythm. You will. But it's got to start with failure. It's got to start with you practicing, falling over your words, getting it all wrong, people telling you it's a pyramid scheme. You've got to start. How long does it take to become a professional at anything? 10,000 hours. But in South Africa, if it's not working after 10 hours, we quit. And I know that. That's why I can run this business. I speak to a lot of my wealth engineers. I go, oh man, I put like 100 people in, 2 people are doing anything. I go, that's awesome. That means I can pay you every month. Because if all 100 did it, I wouldn't have enough money. You've got to go and find that gold, and it's going to come with practice. Set an unusual goal. I want to change your mindsets completely this morning. I've terrified you. Now I'm going to try and bring you back some hope. I want you to have a new target. Henceforth, every wealth engineer that joins Dew Point from this day forward, 25th of May 2019, it's going to sound like the past 20 years from now, but when you watch this video 20 years from now, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to have a new goal. Your goal henceforth is not to find yeses. You know the yeses? You're all looking for the yeses. I'm going to tell everybody they're all going to say yes because Dew Point is amazing. No, I'm going to change that. From this day forward, you're going to set yourself a goal of no's. And every day, you are not allowed to stop prospecting until you've reached that number of no's. Okay? So it might be, say, 5 no's. Every day, you don't rest until you've received 5 no's. If the first 2 people say yes, you still have 5 no's you have to get. I'm being dead serious with you. This is not a joke. Henceforth, I'm going to be holding you all accountable. I'm going to be saying, what's your goal of no's for today? The other day, Donnie, you saw him talking there. Donnie said, I've just had 15 people that have said no to me. I said, that's great. You've got 5 more before you reach your no target for the day. When you're hunting the no's, they don't hurt you anymore. They don't hurt you anymore. That's 1 good. That's 1 down. I only need 4 more. You want it? No. Excellent. 2 more. You want yes? Damn it. Okay, fine. Signed up over there. Right. I need 1 more. It changes your whole psychology when you're going for the no's. And so for those of you who know what no's feel like because you were looking for the yeses, henceforth flip it on its head. You're now looking for no's. Set yourself a daily no goal. And once you've achieved those no's, you can go to bed. But if you get yeses in between, and you'll find it'll be surprising how many you'll get, then you have to keep going. Prospecting is not about Facebook. Where's Facebook? That's not prospecting. Prospecting is not about just the telephone. Prospecting is not about LinkedIn. Prospecting is about everything. Prospecting is everything. Folks, you've got to know the person you're talking to. I can tell you, don't call me on my phone. I don't want to talk to you about a new business opportunity on the phone. But you can WhatsApp me and say, listen, dude, I need you to come watch this video. Are you free for 15 minutes on Friday? Sure, come by. All of a sudden, you've got a prospect. But then if you speak to my father, he doesn't want a WhatsApp. He wants a telephone call. Call him. And then if you talk to my kids, they don't want either. They want Facebook, or they want Snapchat, or they want whatever. You've got to know your audience, and you've got to use the whole lot. Many, many people at Dew Point get really excited when they've done the intro presentation. You yourself this morning, I heard people going, wow, no. I understand, and I want you to be excited about it. But what you do is you run to Facebook, and you go, everybody, you got to see this new business opportunity. And you got to, and it's amazing. And the people go, it's another one of those things. We had an example this week. Some lady said, I spoke to 300 people that all said no. I'm like, 300 people that all said no. I'm never going to be able to convince this person. So we said to her, well, where did you talk to them? Oh, no, on Facebook. Well, of course, everybody on Facebook said no, because you know what Facebook needs? It needs a story. Facebook is about engagement. Facebook is about testimony. What testimony have you got? Are you spent 15 minutes here on a Saturday morning and now you got testimony? No. But if you look at Patrick and Pumi, they've been away on holidays. They've got cars. They're earning money. They can put that on Facebook. People are like, I want to come on holiday with you. It works. But when you're brand new, you can't go to Facebook and expect to build a channel. You've got to get to the people's faces. You've got to talk to them. And that's going to take a long time. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You need to put a year or 2 in, and then the momentum starts going. Talk to Patrick and Pumi what it's like about having 250 people on their first point. 250 paying product owners on their first point. But they haven't been here for 5 years. They're coming around now. They're in their 4th year with us already. Oh, no, I'm not waiting 4 years. Really? Well, what else are you going to do? What's the other thing that you're going to do in the next 4 years? All right, it's not about that. All right, well, that's great, but what do I say? This is all great, Brendan, but what do I say? Okay, so that's not really my speciality. I have to speak to the wealth engineers. What do you say? We know Roelof. Roelof is already ranked 10, okay, at Dew Point. He's earning enough to be able to tease a few other people about how much he's earning, okay? And this is a video we took of him quite a while ago, talking about what he says. Listen to how complicated it is.
I mean, you always get these people that think a little bit weird. And a couple of months ago, sat with a young guy, bit of a yuppie, and he said to me, so how much are you earning from the business? And I said to him, around about 25,000 a month. And he said, how long have you been in the business? I said, 2 years. And he said, is that all? He said, I'm making 5 times that a month. I said, from your second income? He says, no, from my job. I said, okay, now what if you lose your primary income? What would you be earning at the end of that month? He says, well, nothing, obviously. I said, well, if I lose my primary income, what would I be earning? 25,000 a month. You see, it's like insurance. And it gives me the peace of mind. Whatever happens, the worst thing that can happen is I can end up on 25,000 at the end of this month or the end of next month. That's the worst thing that can happen to me. What's the best thing that can happen to me? Somewhere out there, there's another Donnie. All that I need to do, keep on connecting. Connect. What was the last?
Connect. No excuses.
No excuse.
No excuses. No excuses. Just keep connecting. That's all you got to do. I mean, was that a complicated story? How much are you earning? 125,000 Rand a month. Well, when you lose your job tomorrow, how much are you earning? Nothing. Great. Let's get you to 25K a month. It wasn't difficult. There was no discussion around network marketing. There was no discussion around the new business opportunity. There was no discussion around we need to sell financial services products. No discussion around how great our family plan is. You know, there was no discussion. It was a simple case of, guys, we're in crisis and we've got to get out of it. Simple thing. So I sat with Jane, who's been doing this for years, and she's really good. And I said to her, give me some sentences they could start with. So she says, what about this? You're standing at the Woolies of the Checkers. This is what she does. And she's amazing. She's always got new prospects in here. And she's not even a wealth engineer. She just brings them in. And she says, oh, I hate long queues. Have you been here long? That's your introduction, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I hate queues. And all. Well, I've got a solution for you. Let's make you wealthy. You can send your butler. All right? You look really good in those shoes. Where did you get them? That's no business opportunity written in that sentence. Do you see what I'm saying? You're such a positive person. Have you worked here long? That's the person behind the till. That's the person in the store. That's everybody on the ground. Hey, so, I don't know what to say, Brendan. Here's what you say. How long have you been cycling or running or weightlifting or whatever? You know, and you start the conversation. Do you know anyone who likes free things? That's a fun one. Okay. I just found out how to earn an extra 5,000 Rand. You're talking to your friend. I just found out how to earn an extra 5,000 Rand a month. If you'd like to know, I'm happy to tell you. All right? What about this? I'm curious. If you got an extra 5,000 Rand this month, what would you do with it? All right? Excuse me. You look familiar. Did I meet you at Dew Point? Where's Patrick? That's Patrick's line. He walks up to people in the parking lot. No, I know you. You've been to Dew Point, haven't you? The guy goes, I don't know who you are. He says, you mean Dew Point? No. What's Dew Point? Come, I tell you. When I say only you stand between your success and failure, I mean it. There's no science in what you've read here. There's no science. We put a prospecting tool to help you with this. It's in your app. Are you using it? Have you watched the training video? No. No. It costs data. Folks, watch the training video. I think it's the 3rd video in our under tools on your app. We'll teach you how to use the prospecting tool. In fact, it's the 2nd video. It's the 2nd video that teaches you how to use the prospecting tool. You can have all your prospects in there. You can manage them. You can search them. You can everything. Use it as part of this process. Unless you open your mouth, shop is closed. You got no business. And when you open your mouth, record it, and you can manage everything that you want. Great, prospecting easy. Now we got to get the person. So we found the person. You look great in those shoes. You know. Now we got to get them to Dew Point. Okay, how do we get the next step of the way there? All right. Well, first of all, you don't need to explain. Oh, for crying out loud, I have to speak to my pigmentation peers again. They feel they have to do a business analysis with their friend. Let me tell you about DewPoint. First registered in 1952. They used it. Oh, my word. No. DewPoint is beyond debate. It is beyond educated debate. Only ignorant people debate me about DewPoint. Educated people understand that there are no options left in South Africa. There's none. So we're not going to debate this. We're not going to talk about, oh, but I've already got funeral cover. Why do I need it? Shush. We are not selling funeral cover here. We are creating wealth. So the question is, you need wealth. Watch this video. Those are great shoes. Can you afford? You want more? Yes, I want more. Great. Watch this video. Do you see what I'm saying? You've got to dumb this thing down. You've made it too complicated in our heads, and then you want to quit. This is so hard, Brendan. No, you've made it hard. It's easy. I know you're struggling financially. Watch this video. What would you do with an extra 5,000 Rand a month? Oh, man, it would save my life. I'm in such a bad state right now. Excellent. Watch this video. No debate, no stigma, it's done. It's done. I've just seen something incredible. Watch this video. Watch this video. No, tell me all about it. Shush. Play. It's not up for debate anymore. It's not. We're not discussing DewPoint anymore. It's now get connected because you don't have another choice. Inviting, get the commitment to attend and watch as soon as you can. You need to get that. You're hot. When you're talking to the person, don't go, that's great, I got a prospect, but I forgot to ask him to come. You want to hit the person when they're hot. They're hot, you're in conversation with them. Get them committed to attend or watch. The invite is a natural follow-on to the prospecting process. So you're talking and then you invite. You don't talk and then come back later to invite. They've gone cold. You want to invite them straight into the prospect. Invite them immediately where possible. You can and must absolutely be confident in your invite. This is the thing that people say, I don't know what to say. He asked this guy and I fell apart. No. You see, if you were selling a plastic bucky or pots and pans, you could be embarrassed. You know, they're coming from some factory in Thailand that will be gone in 6 months and you'll have lost him as a friend because he would have spent money on something he didn't gain any money from. Then you can be embarrassed. At DewPoint, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Don't tell me this is something else. Watch the video. You know, it's not up for debate, which means you can come in shamelessly in your conversation with individuals. You see how frank I am. Why am I not embarrassed? I mean, who has got the most to lose at DewPoint, actually? Me. My entire career could be ruined. You don't see me embarrassed. Have you ever seen somebody ask me a question I couldn't answer confidently? No. That's because I have the spiritual gift of opinion. And you can have it too. At DewPoint, ladies and gentlemen, you can be absolutely confident in your explanation because we are not like everything else. When you are confident, what do people buy? They buy your belief. If you have no belief, then you will end up buying their belief. That's a pyramid schema. It's one of those things that'll be gone tomorrow. Suddenly you're believing them. They must buy your belief, which means you need more than them. Absolutely shameless. Practice again is going to make progress for you. You're going to prospect, and then you're going to get better at prospecting, but you're going to be useless at inviting. Then you'll be good at prospecting, and slowly you'll get better at inviting. The two ingredients to success, time and numbers. Put the numbers in to get the practice, and put the time in to get the success. That's what you're wanting to do all the time. We have a DewPoint meeting at head office on Tuesday, where you can come and see for yourself, Mr. Know-It-All. Can I book your seat? Great. I'll send you a ticket. How many of you use our ticketing function? You know how it is to blow people away when you send them a ticket? I've not been to a pots and pan presentation before where I got an electronic ticket. And here I do. Use the ticket one. We have a live stream DewPoint introduction on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. We can meet up and watch together. Are you free? Great. I'll meet you at before it starts. Are you sending out links to people and hoping they watch? Or are you sending it out and getting to them? You know, when you're sitting next to them, they have to watch now. But if you send them out, they go, yeah, I watched. Delete. How much effort are you putting in to your success? If this is your last option, if the ship is sinking, then you've got to pump up that life raft. How hard are you pumping right now? Are you willing to go to people? DewPoint has a lunchtime introduction Wednesday at 12:15. I can share a link so you can watch live with me during our lunch break from anywhere. Can we do it? Great. I'll send you the link and contact you before it starts. It is about to start. Turn your computer on. You see, you're in the face of the person. Are you doing it? Or you're going, no, people just keep standing me up. I send them and nobody responds and nobody watches. Are you doing what's required to get them to watch? Are you doing it? If you have a few minutes, I can show you a short video that explains everything. Would you like to take a look? See, I wouldn't use that line, but Jane said she would. I'd be like, shush, watch. That's my version of that sentence. Okay, but you can be nice like Jane and say that. All right. So, a couple of do's and don'ts when you're inviting people. On the do's side, speak as little as possible. No big explanations, folks. You're no good. You're no good. You might not be a salesperson at all. And remember, I said DewPoint's perfect for you because you don't have to say anything. The fatal alternative. This is a fantastic sales technique from the eons before. When you say to somebody, I'd like you to come and watch a video, don't say to them, would you like to watch a video? What answer are they going to give you? No. You say to them, when can we watch the video? Monday or Tuesday? That's the fatal alternative. You haven't given them a yes-no question. They have to answer either Monday or Tuesday. If they go something else, you go, Monday or Tuesday. It's A or B. This is tougher with ladies. This is tougher with ladies. You can have the red shoes or the blue shoes, but I want the green ones. No, it's blue or red. Pick one. Okay, the fatal alternative. Can I see you at lunchtime on Wednesday or at 6:30 on Thursday night? Not yes or no. Don't make it's the fatal alternative. Use the DewPoint tech. Use our ticketing system, guys. So few of you book your attendance here. Book it for even a Wednesday lunchtime present. Book it and send your guests the electronic tickets. Blow them away with our system. How do you do it? Events, find the event, click attend, book ticket. And then that says, would you like to send a ticket to your guests? Yes, here's their email addresses. Type the email addresses in, ding, 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 out to their phones. They've all got electronic tickets to DewPoint's presentation. It makes us look amazing. And then they go, geez, I better come because we look amazing. All right? It's totally different from the experience. And use the app notices. Share them. Are you sharing them? It is absolutely incredible how you can share them. I love it. Okay, so don'ts. Never do it while socializing. You've been invited out to your friend's 50th birthday and you spend the night talking to them about DewPoint. No. Talk to them about how hot their shoes are, how they'd like to earn more money. They're a prospecting list growing. And then you hit them with the invite a little bit later. Maybe just after, catch them in the car park, something like that. Otherwise, you just look like an idiot. You look like that guy, you know. Don't do that, okay? Don't sell DewPoint under false pretenses. No, it's not network marketing. No. You're not going to have to talk to people. You do nothing. You just join and money comes in. Okay? Don't sell DewPoint fakely. Be shameless. DewPoint is our only option to save ourselves. Watch this video. Just be honest and be shameless about it, okay? Argumentative and ill-informed individuals are not worth your time. You will find those personalities. They know better. They're going to argue, normally out of a huge foundation of ignorance about everything. But they, like me, have the spiritual gift of opinion, and they will just give you that opinion all night long. You're just wasting your energy. Move on. There's 57 million South Africans. Cheers, buddy. No, great. I can tick a no off my no goal for the day. Don't waste your time on those guys. Don't sell products, guys. Don't sell products. I don't sell products. You don't hear me selling products. We're selling wealth. I don't want to hear about how my family wealth funeral plan is not as good as another one. I don't want to hear it. Because my plans and my products are better than every single product in the country. Why? Why? Because they build wealth. There ain't no product, even a 10,000 Rand a month product that you could get. The Rolls Royce, it doesn't matter how you die, everything's covered. That creates wealth for you. There isn't one. But all of our products create wealth for you. Because it's not about our products. Don't talk about them. So that's inviting. Now we want to connect them. We've got to get them to the video. We've spoken to them how lovely they look. We've said you're going to have to come and watch the video or be in the presentation. Now we've got to get them there. How many ways do you think we can connect people to DewPoint? Shout out some numbers. How many different ways can you connect someone to DewPoint? We've got 10, we've got 5, we've got 1, we've got it. Okay. So at least the people who are making money here know what the answer is. There are 5 ways, and we're going to look at them in a moment. You are contracted out of discussing and advertising our products. We know that. Read our Wealth Engineer Code of Conduct before you start connecting people and products. No product in South Africa offers you wealth. I said this already. The products might be the best in the country, but they're only part of the reason why we joined DewPoint. Choose a product and get started. That's the thing. People afterwards, no, I need to go and think about the products. And if I was you, I'd be like, no, you don't. Pick a product, let's get started. We're not doing this to pick products, okay? We're doing this to build wealth. All right, so let's do this. 5 ways to connect. Head office is the first way you connect people to us. Second way, look at how many require the head office, okay? 1. All right, everything else is online. Our mobile app, our USB stick, our YouTube channel, and our live streams. You've got 5 ways of connecting people to them. Only one of them is the head office. Only one. People keep saying, no, but I've got to bring people to head office. No, you don't. This is 2019 coming up on 2020. People have got to get over the I need to bring them to the office. Here, you are watching me live from around the country, and so you don't need to be in this office. Okay. However, to go to the head office, what do? We press attend in the app, and we email our guest a ticket. Okay. We then pick our guest up. How many evenings do I find wealth engineers standing here going, I've been stood up again. I've been stood up, the person hasn't arrived. Folks, how badly do you want to do this? Nobody lives on the other side of town. I don't want to go pick him up. Oh, really? You don't want to go and pick him up? Why? No, well, it'll cost me a bit of money and petrol. How badly do you want to change your circumstances, ladies and gentlemen? Are you willing? There is actually a network marketing term which is called driving the miles. Ray Keller coined it. And you can go look up Ray Keller. It's fantastic. And he said, driving the miles. You know what he used to do? He lived on a farm in the middle of Arkansas. His closest neighbor was 5 hours drive away. That was his closest neighbor. You can only do that in America. Drive for 5 hours and see only your farm. You know? This was a long time ago. But nonetheless, he built a massive network marketing company that's made him a multi-millionaire in US dollars by driving the miles. If you don't want to be stood up, then fetch your guest. Fetch him. Even if it means you have to take a taxi to him and then a taxi here. Fetch him, you won't get stood up. Plan ahead. No, I'm here this evening just to see my channel, if my channel arrives. And I always go, I've got bad news for you. Your channel is not arriving. Your channel will arrive when you've organized for your channel to arrive. And when you organize that, make sure you bring a guest. Because if your channel watches you arrive every night without a guest, they'll start arriving every night without a guest. These are basic principles. Are you willing to do what's required? Are you willing? Okay. And then show off. Show off. Dew Point, you can't go to any other presentation and show off like you can here. Show off the office. Show off the people. Show off the technology. Well, I'm just going to scan in quickly and get my XP. Oh, you can't scan in at your one? Oh, no, look here. Oh, yeah, live feed, look, there's my XP. What do you have to write in? Oh, sorry. Oh, and I've got a guest. Look, I'll add you as well. I'm going to go and push plus, invite her. Oh, look, you're on my prospect list. Do you have an electron? No, you don't. Okay, look, there's you. I'll tick you off for the night. Oh, live feed. Look, I've been given XP for your attendance this evening. Show off. Don't be ashamed of Dew Point. Dew Point is amazing. And so show off when you're here. On your app, this is the only presentation. This is a presentation in your pocket. Did you know that the presentation is in your app? Only about a quarter of you nodded your heads. Folks, we put the presentation in your app when we launched the app 3, 4, 5 years ago now. Okay? In your app, what do? You open your app. You press tools. You know the button you hate pushing, the one at the bottom. You never push tools in there. You push tools, okay? You swipe left once, and you push watch. The 16-minute presentation is on your phone right now. You're in a queue in Checkers. Watch. Those are great shoes. Watch. Yeah? I mean, I have to take people to the head office. No, you don't. In your app right now is the presentation. On our USB sticks, 170 Rand, what do you get? You take the USB stick, you take the cap off, you plug it into a computer, laptop, or TV in the side. Up on the screen will come the folder, okay? And you push play. And you're playing our presentation. You know what is on our USB stick? Most of you don't know this. We give you multiple presentations. Short ones all the way through to the long ones are on that USB stick. We give you a whole pile of development seminars. So if you don't like using data, you can plug it into a TV and play it off the USB stick, all about training. Okay? We give you testimonies. All the guys, the big guys are making money. The testimonies on the USB stick. So if you're sitting in your lounge with guests, plug it in, select testimonies, we play you the testimonies. And then we've got all your fast starter tools. It's all in your USB stick right now. See, it works. It's awesome. In the app and it's working. Okay, fantastic. You can buy it right now this morning for 170 Rand. And you get that whole list of things, plug it into your TV or your computer, and you're playing any point in time. Understand? Guys around the country, I marvel at the fact that we don't get more orders of our USB stick. We'll deliver it to you. Call client service. I beg you on my knees, Monday to Friday, and order your USB stick, and we'll deliver it to you anywhere in the country. And you now don't have to use data. You can plug it in, and you've got a whole list of things that you get for that 170 Rand. On our YouTube channel, it's available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, anywhere in the world. You've got every presentation. I say to people, go to our YouTube channel. No, I don't want to go to our YouTube channel because I don't go to YouTube because I don't know. But you go to YouTube and you'll find us there. You can view it from any device. Any device will play YouTube. Your TV at home, if you've got a flat screen TV, you've got a good chance it's a smart TV. Open it, use it, turn it on, look on your remote for like a home button. Push the home button and you'll be able to see the apps. One of them will be YouTube right there on your TV. And you click YouTube and you put Dew Point in and our channel comes up and you can now play our live presentations and our recorded presentations on your TV at home. Go and try it today, okay? You open YouTube. You type Dew Point in the search bar, Dew Point channel comes up, you select the video you want, and you push play. We've got playlists on our channels. Those of you who've never been to our YouTube, there's playlists. At the top is live, all the live stuff. The next one down is uploads. Every presentation we do, including this one now, will go automatically into uploads, okay? So if you go, oh, I missed this morning's presentation at 10 and I want to watch it, no problem. Go home now, click uploads, and the second video, because this will be the first one, the second video will be this morning's 10 o'clock video. It's there already. Click play on your TV. At home, okay? And then you can search through the other ones. We've got Getting Started, we've got Testimonies. They're all in channels on our YouTube channel. Okay, on the live stream, we've live 5 times a week anywhere. Anywhere you are, you can be watching us live. It's available on our app and on our YouTube channel. You can watch us from both live, okay? So let's look from the app. What are you going to do? You're going to open your app up, okay? You're then going to select the Events tab at the bottom because you're not here. You want to watch us live, okay? You open your app. You push Events. You then push Watch, and you are live on your phone. Your phone will turn sideways, and there's Brendan doing his dance right there for you. Okay. The 3 clicks to connect South Africans to us. Remember I always say, 3 taps on your screen, tap the app, tap Events, tap Watch. What do? Open the app, push Tools, swipe left, Watch. And you're connecting South Africans to us. All of this is in your hands right now. Via the notices, what do you want to do? You go to the notices. We want you to watch one of these. Remember, you've got the ability to book a ticket and send a ticket to somebody. You just push there. Book to attend. People think this is like text. These are buttons, okay? Book to attend, booking my ticket, send to my friend. Great. Then we want them to watch it live, okay? That's the live button down there. So we need to share it with them. Do you remember share down here? You're going to click share at the bottom. You then select what medium you want to send it to. In anything. Look, I mean, there's Facebook, WhatsApp, Outlook, SMS. Send it, okay? Select here. Rob selected WhatsApp, okay? Selects WhatsApp. Then selects the contact, who he wants to send it to, all right? And then he pushes next. And look what happens. He types a quick mission. Hi, Brendan. Here's the link to the Dew Point live stream. Excellent. All right. Send. Send. And that's what the person gets. Look at what the person gets. Introduction, presentation. Hi, Brendan, here's the link today. Click here, book to attend here, watch live down here on their own phone with no Dew Point app on it. And they can click that link and turn their phone sideways and watch us live from the notices. So you have the ability to watch from your app and to send people the live link so they can watch from our app. Okay. From YouTube, there's your YouTube. You're going to select YouTube. You're going to search it, www.youtube.com. You're going to put into their search Dew Point. Dew Point will come up. There we are. That's our channel. Okay. Very complicated this. There we go. Here's our channel. Have you ever seen it? Oh, no. There's only 3 heads that went yes. Everyone else is like, I don't go to YouTube. You know? No, ladies and gentlemen. Dew Point, there's our channel there. Everything at the top is live stuff, and then our category starts. You can see the uploads at the bottom there. You click on uploads, and in the uploads you can find today's presentations, and then our categories below. There it is. You click watch, and you are watching me do my dance on the stage for you. Live. Who else in South Africa today is doing this? Who else is giving you this technology? How much are you paying a month for this technology? Nothing. Nothing. You pay nothing. And you get all of this. Nobody's doing this. It's another one of those things. Really? I can think of a number of expletives I'd like to say to that person when they tell me that all of this is just like everyone else. You do not get to put Dew Point in the same bucket as anything else. Dew Point is completely unique in South Africa, and it is our only hope right now. It is our only hope. Worth and belief is an interesting question. Who will tell the people? You see, it's an interesting thing. Only the people who feel that they are worth it and the people that believe in it are going to tell the people. We have a problem in South Africa, and it's a historical problem. I understand it, where we don't believe we're worth anything. Now, when you don't believe you're worth anything, a couple of things happen to you. First of all, you drop all your moral standards. You do. Why do you think crime rates are so high in South Africa? It's not because people are desperate, which they are. It's because people do not value their own lives. They find no worth in their own life, and so they are willing to become criminals. You have to diminish your own personal value if you wish to break the law. You do. You know it. You can feel it inside you. We also know that when Dew Point comes along and says, I can give you a tool that can make you anything you want in this life, anything, they go inside them quietly, but I'm not worth it. I'm not worth it. These are things, when I say to people, don't let anybody tell you you can't do this, because we believe we can't, because of what we've been told in the past. Guys, the past is gone. It is just gone. Don't listen to the politicians. The politicians say what will buy them votes. We have a problem. Those votes are not putting money on our tables. They're not. We need to find worth in ourselves. We need to believe that with a system this simple, you don't need a special education to do it. You don't. You don't need special experience or special personality, and you don't need a specific set of circumstances. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to know lots of people. You don't have to this, that, and that. You can all do it. You've got to believe that you have value first. When you believe you have value, you won't quit. Why do people run to get-rich-quick schemes? They run to get rich quick because they have no personal value. They go, I will do something little, you must pay me lots, because I don't believe I can do a lot. As soon as you chase a get-rich-quick scheme, you've diminished your own value. When you go, no, I'm going to build life-changing, intergenerational wealth for me and my family, then you go, I will put the years in. I will put them because I am worth it. I am worth it. So, folks, we need to believe that we are worth more. We need to. That's got to start with you. You've got to believe you're worth more if you're going to be able to succeed. Then you've got to believe in Dew Point, in our system, and in ourself. You've got to be shameless about Dew Point. You've got to practice it 1,000 times. You need to believe in our technology and our training. And then you need to believe that you can implement. You've got to execute. You've got to execute yourself. Then we'll be willing to do what is required. Then you will. Then you'll go, I don't mind that I have to speak to 5,000 people over the next 20 years. I don't mind. I'm going to do it because I am worth it. I'm worth it, and I believe in the system. Rob put the slide up ages ago. He said the 2 ingredients. You want one portion of success for yourself. I want my one portion of success, please. Great. Well, then you've got to put the time in, and you've got to put the numbers in. Right now, many of you are simply not connecting enough people. You're just not, because your mouths are closed and you're not practicing. You've got to get that mouth open and you've got to start talking to people. Not about the business opportunity. Start talking to them about your story. Tell them about how you fit into the South African story. I gave you the picture of what we're in. You're in there. Your story's in that story. Tell people your story and how you are changing it with 2 ingredients, time and numbers, with the Dew Point system. And you will be able to prospect, to invite, and to connect. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to make some change. And it's going to start this afternoon. Tuesday night, 6:30, we're live again. Are we going to have an empty room? Am I talking to a camera? Or are we going to fill this room with full of South Africans and we're going to fill that live stream? That's what I want to see. And I will see you then. 6:30 Tuesday. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.